It took over 20 centuries to complete the Great Wall of China. It was built, rebuilt, and extended by many imperial dynasties and kingdoms. The wall exceeds 12,000 miles 20 km. The smallest known reptile in the world is the Bruchisia micra, which is so small it can stand on the head of a match. Pogonophobia is the fear of beards. In North Korea, citizens are forced to choose from one of 28 government-approved haircuts. Before the Renaissance era, 3/4 of all books in the world were in Chinese. Sugar was first invented in India, where extraction and purification techniques were developed in 510 BC. Before that, the most popular sweetener was honey. You cannot invent faces in your dream, which means you've encountered every face you've seen in your dream in real life. Farting helps to reduce blood pressure and is good for overall health. All humans have the ability to see ultraviolet light. However, it's passively filtered through our lens. People who get surgery done to remove the lens can see the ultraviolet light. Diet soda ruins your tooth enamel just as badly as cocaine and methamphetamines. There's a company called True Mirror that makes non-reversing mirrors that show you how you actually appear to other people. On Good Friday in 1930, the BBC announced there is no news, followed by piano music. In 1945, a man named Satomu Yamaguchi survived the atomic blast at Hiroshima, only to catch the morning train so that he could arrive at his job on time in Nagasaki, where he survived another atomic blast. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln grew his famous beard because he got a letter from an 11-year-old girl named Grace Bettle who said that all ladies liked the whiskers and they would convince their husbands to vote for him for president. Before he was Iron Man, actor Robert Downey Jr. was a notorious drug addict. He credits his sobriety to the fast food chain Burger King. In an interview with Empire magazine, he revealed that in 2003, he was driving a car full of drugs when he ordered a burger from Burger King that was so disgusting that he felt compelled to pull over, get out, and dump all of his drugs into the ocean. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own oceans. Over 90% of mobile phone sales in Japan are for waterproof devices. Because the Japanese are so fond of their mobile phones, they even use them in the shower. Cats have been around since 3600 BC. Most of the vitamins you get from eating a potato are in the skin. There are over 4 million apps available for download on both the Android and Apple App Store. Pineapple isn't a fruit, it's actually a berry. The famous painter Salvador Dali would avoid paying the bill at restaurants by drawing on the back of his checks, as he knew the owner would not want to cash the checks as the drawings would be much too valuable. Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, got the idea to start the site when he received a late fine of $40 on a VHS copy of Apollo 13. Reed also approached Blockbuster in 2005, offering to sell the company for $50 million, which was turned down at the time. Today, the company is worth over $9 billion. Starbuck is a famous Canadian bull whose genome is so desirable that his sperm has sold for over $25 million over his lifetime. In this time, he has served over 200,000 daughters. There's a mushroom in the wild called Letiporus that tastes like fried chicken. Carmen Deliarefis is the world's oldest working model. She started modeling at the age of 15 and is still an active model to this day at the age of 83. The scientific term for pins and needles is paresthesia. A study concluded by the Journal of Positive Psychology concluded that 2/3 of humans have no idea what they're good at and what their strengths are. Exercising increases productivity. Having a regular exercise routine can make you happier, smarter, and more energetic, and thus last longer throughout the day. The pilot episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog was nominated for an Oscar. It is optimal for your lithium-ion smartphone battery to top it off and keep its charge between 40-80, rather than let it drain to 0% and charge it all the way up. Robert Hansen, a serial killer who was active in the early 1980s, would kidnap women and release them in Alaska's Knik River Valley. He would then hunt them, armed with a knife and a Ruger Mini 14 rifle. When the investigator contacted Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Roy Hazelwood and requested help with a criminal psychological profile based on the 3 recovered bodies, Hazelwood thought that the killer would be an experienced hunter with low self-esteem, have a history of being rejected by women, and would feel compelled to keep souvenirs of his murders, such as a victim's jewelry. He also suggested that the assailant might stutter. Using this profile, he investigated possible suspects until he reached Hansen, who fit the profile and owned a plane. The fast food chain Del Taco was originally called Casa del Taco, meaning House of the Taco. Now its name just means of the taco. Before 1912, Komodo dragon was thought to be a mythical creature. La Rinconada, Peru is the world's highest elevated city at 16,730 feet above sea level, and its economy is based around a gold mine. The mine operates on a unique system where employees work for 30 days without payment, and on the 31st day they are allowed to take as much ore as they can carry. About 70% of the spices used in the world come from India. Scientists have found a fungus that uses of gamma radiation as its energy source in Chernobyl's nuclear remains. Tulsa, Oklahoma used to have a Black Wall Street that was once the most economically prosperous black community in America. The community's wealth was greater than that of surrounding white neighborhoods and was destroyed by envious whites on June 1, 1921, in just 12 hours during a race riot. Mobile phones often have two completely different phone numbers attached to them, which are both usable. One is the one you think your number is, and the other is called a mobile identification number MIN, a number your carrier uses to identify you. When a bee mates with a queen, its ejaculation is so powerful that it is audible to the human ear. When in love, the human brain consistently releases the same combination of neurotransmitters and hormones that are released by amphetamines, leading to side effects such as increased heart rate, loss of appetite and sleep, and an intense feeling of excitement. WOOF is an international program that allows you to travel the world, with food or accommodations covered, in exchange for volunteer work. The term hipster originated in the 1940s and was used to describe jazz aficionados, characterized by their dress, slang, use of cannabis and other drugs, relaxed attitude, sarcastic humor, self-imposed poverty, and relaxed sexual codes. France lost so many workers during its failed attempt to dig the Panama Canal that for a time their project's main source of income was selling the corpses pickled in brine water to medical schools all over the world as cadavers. According to a study by the British Academy of Sound Therapy, the song Weightless by the Marconi Union is the most relaxing song ever. Lyndon Johnson was the only president sworn in by a woman, and it occurred on Air Force One after Kennedy's assassination. When Adolf Hitler offered German World War I military hero General von Lettow-Vorbeck an ambassadorship, Vorbeck told Hitler to go fuck himself. Although repeatedly harassed by the Nazis, Vorbeck survived their regime due to his popularity. Caffeine is a painkiller, and when used with other painkillers, such as acetaminophen or Nasids, potentiates their effects significantly. The term Homo sapiens comes from the Latin words meaning wise man. As you age, the amount of rapid eye movement, dream, sleep you have decreases. In the early 1920s, Hans Berger recorded the first human electroencephalogram EEG. In 2001, 17,448 people died in alcohol-related motor vehicle crashes. That is 41% of the year's total traffic deaths. Central and South American poison frogs produce about 600 chemicals in their skin. A crocodile cannot stick out its tongue. Squid and cuttlefish have eye with shaped pupils.